Yeah.
Yo, what up, yo? You know what it is, man. It's the Birds Fly South podcast. Got myself, PK all day, aka King Fly Joint, with my man BG31. You know where he's coming from, straight from Alabama, West Coast kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Representing the dub C's and all that stuff. You know what
Dub.
we got the most famous Washington football team fan. My man Todd, what up, Big? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you having me. Tay got married a couple months ago, so his evenings are kind of they're really hit or miss. So you know how it is. So I'm gonna speak for both of us. Appreciate y'all having me on. Looking forward to it.
All right, that's what's
yes,
up,
sir. Go ahead and tell them about your platform too, your podcast and your YouTube channel. Cause we got your link up inside the chat here.
So you can find us on Twitter, Tay and Todd Podcast. We do a couple episodes a week. We try to just kind of talk, I don't know. We just try to just talk free reign, just say whatever, and rant when ranting needs to happen and all that sort of thing. So we do that, and we do the same thing on YouTube. And then on YouTube, I break down the film of the quarterbacks. I want to do more stuff on breaking down certain players, rookies, and that sort of thing. So YouTube, you'll find more stuff, but on our podcast, you'll find us just talking about the team.
Nice.
So tell me a little bit about your background, bro. Like, why Washington football?
Okay, yeah. So, honestly, growing up, when I was younger, I didn't play football. I wasn't into football or sports that much. And then one year, I don't know, it just clicked. I can't really explain it. It was around Sean Taylor's time too. It just kind of clicked. I just started getting into it. And the more I watched, the more I got into it. My dad is not a big Washington fan. My family isn't. My uncle is. I have people, but not in my immediate family. So it's kind of weird. I can't explain where my dedication and love and passion came from because it wasn't passed down to me. But it's here now, and it's very real, and it's it hasn't gone anywhere even after all this losing and just up and down and drama that's existed. I feel like it'll feel that much better someday, whenever it is, when we finally do win the Super Bowl, because the Patriots win every year. That's no fun. But when you've been struggling for 20, 30, 40 years and you finally win, it's going to feel amazing. So
yeah, we know the feeling. We know
right,
the feeling.
Exactly.
Facts.
So yeah, I'm from the area though. So that's one of the main things, definitely, is being from DC, repping all DC sports, but Washington football, the Redskins being the main one.
Hey, guess what? My boy JC Eagle Toss got Eagle applications for all you fans that are not quite 100% sure. You can go ahead and join our Eagle squad. You know what I'm saying? We look for more candidates, my guy.
Okay, okay, yeah.
So I'm just letting you know it's out there.
I appreciate
we got an application for you, my guy. We can get you signed up and get you part of the Eagle squad.
We're here for you.
I appreciate it. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be a great asset to the community, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But thank you though.
No problem. We always here to help.
Yeah,
we always here to help. So tell me about your team this year. What's your what was your outlook for the team before the season started? How has that changed or varied since the season's been going on?
That's a good question. I try my best to be real level-headed. The team, I didn't expect it to. They really shouldn't have gone 7-9 last year. So this year I wasn't expecting anything crazy, and I'm glad I wasn't. I was in the 8-9 win range is what I was expecting, mainly because we don't have a quarterback really. So they're looking like they'll probably, I'm guessing, finish with 7 wins. I think they'll beat the Giants in week 18. So it's not that far off. The main things that I didn't expect are just the defense being what it's been as opposed to building off of last year, taking a huge step back. And I think just the guys that we added that were supposed to improve the offense, Fitzpatrick, to some level, Curtis Samuel, other guys, they just never were able to get off the ground, mainly because of injuries. So in terms of wins and losses, they're right around where I expected. But in terms of other areas of improvement, I haven't really seen that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So my question for you is, shout out to the district guys. Stone,
yeah,
Trev. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Yo, y'all are dope. I found out something interesting, and as an Eagle fan, I was appalled, and not angry, but I was I stopped in my tracks. The Washington football team never had a franchise quarterback?
Yeah, so the closest I think we've ever come is Joe Theismann. He was he got hurt in, what was it, 87, 88. And that was a few years. Sammy Baugh, that was that was before like our parents were alive. And then honestly, Kirk Cousins from 15 to 17. So in terms of having like a Donovan McNabb, like a Peyton Manning, like that, no.
You're welcome.
No, we haven't.
No. But like,
you're welcome for D Jax, you're welcome for Donovan, and you're also welcome for Ron Rivera. Mitchell. Those are all Eagles.
Yeah, you can keep McNabb, but the other two, yeah, for sure. Thanks.
But it's crazy. It's crazy to hear. You guys won championships with Doug Williams,
right?
What was
it was Mark Rippon, Joe Theismann won one.
Yeah, and you've never had a franchise quarterback. Right. That is so interesting. Like that's like going forward. How do you expect to sustain anything? You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I'm with you. I was honestly thinking about this today, which is kind of just crazy. But Joe Gibbs deserves that much more credit for winning 3 Super Bowls with no franchise quarterback ever. But there are some fans, Washington fans, who think because he did that back in the late 80s, early 90s, that it means it can be done again. But the league is so different now. Like, for what he did back then, that was still incredible, but it can't be done now. The closest we've come was what Nick Foles did in the playoffs for the Eagles, but that was off of Carson Wentz, who was the franchise quarterback, having an MVP level season.
Right.
So we can't go anywhere without a franchise quarterback. Basically, we will never be good. We will never contend without a franchise quarterback. So that needs to be a first that happens like really soon here.
Is he in the building?
No.
No Tyler Heineke. Love
He's not. I like Heineken. Honestly, I do like him a lot, and I do want him to be our backup quarterback for a long time. But he is not a franchise quarterback. Yeah, I think he'd be a great number 2, but not an 18-week starter, 17-week starter.
So it's kind of like what we have. We have Gardner Minshew, and I think he's a great number 2.
We give you Gardner for a first rounder.
Okay. The thing is, we were talking about Gardner in the offseason, and I like Gardner too. Gardner is like an even better Heineke to me. I think he's a great backup. I'll take him for a 6th or a 7th.
Whoa, don't hate on Gardner like that.
Now, dude.
Can't offer more than that. But I do like.
He can't be like 6th round. Gardner won against the Jets, my guy. Okay, and he had a pretty accurate game, so I think we need at least a 3rd round pick.
When you're going against the Jets, it's kind of like a bye week.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. So let's talk about these quarterbacks, man. Who's playing this week? Because I heard both of your quarterbacks are playing this week. What's going on with that?
So I would expect Heineke to start. I think if he plays well, he'll finish. I think if he struggles, you'll see maybe Kyle Allen come in like the second half. That's where we're at basically, which hasn't been a conversation until this week. I think we could see Allen in the second half if we see a first half that looks kind of like that Cowboys game on Sunday night.
Gotcha.
Is that what it was? The Cowboys game made your coaches so unconfident. They're like, hey, we're going to start both of these guys because we're not sure who's going to play good and who's not going to play good. So we need to put both of them on the roster, make sure they're ready to go to start this week. If Heineke sucks, we're going to throw in Allen.
Yeah, honestly, maybe.
Who do you think is a better quarterback for real?
That's a good question. Like Kyle Allen started for Ron Rivera in 2019 for a handful of games and played well and then just fell off. And then Heineke came in against the Bucs in the playoffs and did what he did. It's tough for me to say. I guess I'll say Taylor Heineke. Kyle Allen has a better arm and can do more traditional quarterbacking from the pocket, but Taylor Heineke can do things outside of the structure that can really make a difference. But he doesn't have the arm strength to consistently do things down the field. I'll go with Heineke, but really by just like a hair. I think they're comparable players.
So what do you want them to do? Pick up a free agent or get one in the draft?
Yeah, I want them to take someone in the draft. You look at the veterans that may be available, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson. I'd love any of those guys. I don't see it happening. I mean, y'all have 3 first-round picks. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of competition. So I don't necessarily see that happening, which would be ideal, but I'm okay with that. The ideal scenario is always in the draft, right? Because of the money, because of the age. So I just for once want to draft a guy who's in his early 20s, and who is your quarterback for like 15 years. That's the best case scenario. That's what I want them to do.
Who?
Right.
Who? You see these big names out there. They're
Yeah,
not all world beaters.
right.
But who out of the names do you want the Washington football team to draft?
I'll say the main one is Kenny Pickett. If you just watch like the way he
from
plays, you just
University of
watch him
Pittsburgh?
play. What do you say?
University of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, right? Yeah. You know how some guys you just watch them play in college and they just look the part. Like, I mean, before you get to all the technical stuff and they just look like NFL quarterbacks. They look control. That's Kenny Pickett to me. And he had almost like a Joe Burrow level rise, not quite that level, but almost on that level. So I would love Kenny Pickett.
And he changed the game, made a whole new rule
Right,
for
exactly.
the fake slide.
Exactly.
That was legit when he did it. I'm not gonna lie.
It was
I don't
super
even think they
impressive.
should have made a rule about it. Like that was
I don't either.
legit. He thought of it, the first guy to think of doing anything like that,
Right.
and that was awesome. I don't think
I
they
agree.
need to go out and hate on the guy and make a whole new rule about you can't fake slide anymore. Because
I
hey,
agree.
if you want to fake slide, fake slide. I
You
like
can
it.
fake everything else.
How did he take his momentum to stop?
Right.
That
Acting
was
like
good.
an
That's what I'm
opponent.
saying.
I was like,
He
damn.
had to have been
legit.
practicing that. He had to have been practicing that.
he
He said,
definitely
next chance I get, I'm going to use it because that was impressive. And I
That
agree. I
was
don't
really
think they
good.
should have changed the rule. Like, if the guy stopped 10 yards away from him, you don't have to stop that far. You could get closer. I don't think they should have changed the rule. But
Right? I don't think they should. They should let
Yeah.
more people fake slide.
Yeah.
That should be a thing that even goes on in NFL. The way these
Yeah.
quarterbacks be sliding left and right, let them give them that fake slide because not
Yeah.
everybody can do it. That's
Not
not,
everybody
everybody's
can.
thing. You know what I'm
And-
saying? Like
and
people
the-
look silly. Some people can't even slide.
Right.
Carson
Exactly.
Wentz can't even slide. You know,
Right.
we've had him for years and he couldn't slide. Not a damn none. So
No, I'm with you. And it would just take one fake slide and then you getting popped for you to just slide and never fake slide again.
Facts.
So, I
that
don't
gets
think
your hair knocked off.
Yeah,
For real.
exactly. So
For
I don't.
real.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So this weekend is implications on us.
Yeah.
What do you see? What do you see out of your defense, and what should we expect out of your offense?
Man, so honestly, played a couple weeks ago. So on offense, you didn't have a real quarterback. Taylor Heineke's not a starter, but he's more of a starter than Garrett Gilbert. So I'll start on the defense. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't expecting this defense to give up over 200 yards. I know that the Eagles had a lot of success running the ball, and I didn't expect it to be shut down, but the running lanes that were available were just insane. And they were not like Chase Young is out, but they weren't missing a whole lot of starters to excuse that. So defensively, and I talked about this on a podcast for Washington, how do you kind of combat that for the Eagles and Jalen Hurts? In my mind, we would just have to bring constant pressure. We have to load the box, force Jalen Hurts to throw the ball. And if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us through the air. That's the best chance you've got, because if we try to defend against the pass, you're just going to run for over 200 yards. So that's the one thing I could see maybe different defensively is we're just loading up that box with whatever linebackers we can find, because we don't have any linebackers. And we're just coming after Jalen Hurts as hard as we can, and we hope that we can force him to hesitate just enough and that we can stop the run. Offensively, I mean, you'll see them throw the ball more than they did in that first game. They didn't open the playbook up until late in the game because they had to, but they were clearly trying to protect Gilbert. So you'll see them open the playbook up, but mainly in the sense of just throwing. I don't mean throwing downfield a lot, but just throwing on first down early in the game as opposed to just hand the ball off even when it's still not working. They'll definitely throw the ball more because the Eagles' defensive line is still something to worry about at stopping the run.
Gotcha.
Listen, that's one thing I did want to talk about. How much of an effect do you think that defensive line is going to feel? Jamie Davis, we heard about what happened in that situation. We also heard about what's going on in the Sweat situation.
Right.
How do you think those two things that happened this past weekend is going to affect your football team on defense?
Yeah, honestly, I think possibly a decent amount because and Ron Rivera talked about after last game, Montez Sweat's brother died today. Jamin Davis, Deshazer Everett is the safety who was in the accident, whose girlfriend died. He had injuries. Jamin Davis was apparently at that. He was there when it happened, I guess, and then he's hurt. So I feel like it could affect them a decent amount. I think there's a chance Sweat doesn't play a whole lot, honestly. and that might not even be that big of a deal. So I think it could affect them. There's just a lot. The same way you kind of saw the Raiders just couldn't overcome all that stuff that was happening off the field. I don't think this is the sort of thing that you can just overcome easily.
Even and then to even add on top of that,
Right.
like the whole fighting scene in Dallas.
Right.
How, like, as a Washington football fan, how did you feel? Like, was that something like and like I want to put it out there. We've all played sports before.
Right.
When that, when you're on a team atmosphere and you get on your brother, that happens. But in the middle of like national network on a sideline, spotlight's on you. You gotta keep that in house. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about that?
Hey, before you answer that, who you got in that fight?
That's a good question.
Payne or Allen?
I might go Allen because Allen, I wouldn't expect him to throw a punch. So the fact that he did that punch means he can be calm until he doesn't need to be. And usually that's the guy you really got to worry about. So I think I'd go with Allen. How it made me feel, honestly, that kind of made I'll say I don't cut games off. Like I always watch games to the end. Right. That was the first game I remember ever cutting off, like midway through the second quarter. And that was a big reason why. Because seeing them fighting on the sideline like that made me more mad than the score at the time, which was like 28 or 35-7. I agree with you that we all play sports, so like fighting happens. But not on the sideline while you're getting blown out against your rivals on Sunday Night Football. Like not, and then you got Adam Schefter tweeting it. It's got millions of views. Everyone's saying it. Like, do it in the locker room. Do it in the parking lot. I don't care if I heard about it. That's fine. But just the cameras, like they caught them in 4K. That really, really made me mad. Not because they were fighting, but because they were. I've never seen a player swing at a teammate on the sideline in the middle of a game. That I remember. That I don't remember seeing that. So that was like beyond embarrassing. And now I don't know. I think now the loss is more embarrassing ultimately. But at the time, while it happened, that was more embarrassing than the current score.
What bothered me the whole entire time is like I've been in those type of situations. Like we get in a heated argument,
right?
But you're a grown ass man. You ain't no way you putting your finger in my face,
right. That's disrespectful.
That was the disrespectful point. He had it all up on it. Like, yeah, I'm talking to you.
Right.
It's like what Charlie Murphy said. He was like, Rick James smacked me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, and he was like, oh, he smacked me. Somebody got to go. So do it.
Like, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man.
No, I agree.
And another thing is, if you're gonna show fight like that, why you show fight like that against the damn Cowboys?
Against the Cowboys, why are you fighting each other? But those were some of the most wide open touchdowns I've seen. Where's the fight there? I agree with you. Like y'all just got to keep your hands to yourself. Like this right here, you're getting swung on for that. I understand why he swung on him. This is where it shouldn't have happened in the first place. That's crazy.
You think he missed on purpose?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think he was going for. I think he left a little mark here, but he was going for it all. And just imagine if he had landed that punch and how much worse that would have been.
That would have been awesome. You guys had a broken jaw over there. Another player out for this week. That would have been nothing but priceless.
I don't even think you'll need it.
Priceless, baby.
I don't think you'll need another player out. I think you'll be fine with everybody we have.
Let's talk about this game a little bit here.
Yeah.
Last game we won. Do you see the sweep coming, or do you think the Washington football team got what it takes? You guys lost 3 in a row. See, this is what I think is really kind of crazy about this matchup. The Eagles need to win, period. You know what I'm saying? We got to win out. We don't really have to win out. We can go to the clinch a playoff spot if Niners win, Packers win, we win. Then we clinch. That's cool. But you guys came off a 3-game losing streak. Yeah. And the last game was against the Cowboys. You guys got blown out. Do you think your team got enough fight left in them to bring it to us this week and end our playoff hopes, or at least extend it to week 17?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. I think if I hadn't seen, and like injuries and COVID are a factor, they're not everything, but they're a factor. If I had seen better performances from the defense last week, but especially against y'all, then I would say yes, because I mean the defense, I know they got those 2 turnovers, but then after that they couldn't stop Eagles from running the ball. If I had seen them be able to contain the Eagles to some level while Gilbert was starting, I'd say yes. But I have low expectations for the defense. and the offense, the game that they were playing that got them on that 4-game winning streak, it was only sustainable for so long. It's not really there anymore, running the ball and ball control like that. So I think they'll fight. Like, I don't think it'll be a blowout like the Cowboys game, but I don't think they have the fight or even the pieces to be able to beat the Eagles this week. Plus, momentum is so real in the NFL. Eagles have a ton of momentum. We lost our momentum.
Undefeated in December, man. Undefeated in December.
Undefeated in November, you know. But it doesn't matter now.
Right.
Man, it's gonna be crazy. I want to ask you a question about our quarterback, Jalen Hurts, man. I'm gonna see if I can pull up this stat here. This is what Jalen Hurts been doing here. Jalen Hurts is, on target throws, 78.6%, 8th in the NFL. Bad throws, 13.6%, 3rd lowest in the NFL. Drop passes, 5.7, 5th highest in the NFL. And he's a Pro Bowl alternate and leading our second team rushing. Jalen has 2,900 yards passing, and I think about close to 800 yards rushing. Do you think Jalen Hurts is a franchise quarterback?
That's a good question. So here's the thing. I don't – you look at the Ravens and what they do with Lamar Jackson. For me, I need a franchise quarterback. For me is someone who, if I need him to drop back 55 times and win the game that way, he can do it. It's not sustainable over an 18-game season. That's not how you want to win. But if I need it sometimes, then he can do it. I don't have to rely on a rushing attack. And I don't know if Lamar is that guy. And I don't know if Jalen Hurts is that guy. If the running game starts to get shut down, can Jalen Hurts' arm lead the team to victory? That's a question I have. He won
the last 2 games with his arm. He only had 2 rushes last game. And the game before, he only had a couple of rushes. He hasn't been running the ball the last couple of games, and we've still been winning with him throwing the ball.
The first game was against us, right? You mean the last 2, right? Yeah, I guess taking away Miles Sanders too, because I know against us y'all ran for 230, 40 yards, but it was mostly, I guess, the running backs. I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna say no. I still think no, and that's not the fan in me. To be honest, I don't think most quarterbacks are franchise quarterbacks.
Facts. There's only a couple of them.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying is, he's better than I thought he would be in college when he was at Alabama and then Oklahoma. But as for whether or not he can be a year in, year out guy where teams can't adjust and can't figure out a way to stop the offense that's needed to run for him to have the success that he has, I don't know. And if suddenly the running game only gets 60 yards and he needs to drop back and throw the ball consistently this week, next week, and the next week, I'm not sure. So I'll just say no. But at the same time, I wouldn't draft a quarterback if I were the Eagles, because I don't know that I have more faith in these guys in the draft than what Jalen Hurts has shown, because he has impressed.
I do agree that it's too early to say if he's franchised or not.
Yeah, I agree that
he's a Pro Bowl alternate. He's got the most rushing touchdowns as an Eagle. But he's breaking records left and right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Total yards, he's over 3,000, almost 4,000 yards. That's some pretty good numbers for your first year starting and being a Pro Bowl alternate. So I'm thinking franchise quarterback need to be maybe talked about year 3, year 4.
Yeah.
You can't say for year 1. And I know it's his second year, but really, this is year 1 for Jalen. Full year starting. It's your team. Get your thing going on. Do you think it's too early for everybody putting this criticism on Jalen Hurts? And do you think he has a high ceiling or not?
Yeah, I do think it's too early to say that he's not. I think it's too early to make a definitive statement one way or the other. This is Nick Sirianni's first or second year.
Now Sanders. Sorry, go ahead.
Nick Sirianni's first or second year as head coach. First year, right?
First.
So he learned a new system. So yeah, I mean, it's his first year starting, and he hasn't been bad for a first year starter. He's been impressive. So yeah, no, if I had the chance to get Deshaun Watson, I think I'd still take that rather than.
But why? What makes Watson better than Hurts?
Just because because for me, can Jalen Hurts throw for 4,500 yards. Because to me, a
Okay,
franchise
okay, okay.
quarterback.
Actually, hold on, before you
Mhm.
answer this.
Yeah.
What's more important to you, stats or wins? Because Watson led the league in stats and only had 4 wins.
I mean,
Jalen
I
Hurts'
agree.
first year, he's at 8 wins now. I guess you can say 7 since Gardner won one of them, but possibly even 10 win season his first year. So what's more important in terms of being, earning that franchise quarterback, the stats
Mhm.
or because he got
I
stats
mean,
too,
right. No, he
stats
does.
or you
I mean,
know.
there's definitely wins, but my rebuttal to that would be I think as good as Hurts has been, I think if Watson was the quarterback this year, I think you'd be on track for 12 wins. I think that
I
there'd be
think we'll
more
be on
winning
track for
potential.
12 wins if we ran the ball in the first 6 games.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I know that
Fact, am
that
I lying? Like,
yeah,
if we ran the
yeah.
ball in the first 6 games, we were in all those games, all those big games that we weren't supposed to win, because the team was so much better. We could have won every last one of them if we, A, ran the ball, and
Let's let the
B,
job.
stopped playing zone and man up sometime. Those are two
right,
huge reasons. That was rookie coaches' mistakes
right.
that lost a lot of those games in the first 6 games. I think, personally, I said 13-4, and I think we could be somewhere around there, at least 11, 12 win right now if we would have done those first 6 games. We didn't do it. We had to let our coaches grow and understand the team that we had. And I heard a podcast earlier today say that Nick Sirianni tried to make Jalen throw the ball. That's why we threw the ball 40, 50 times a game the first 6 weeks of the season to see if he could be that quarterback to throw the ball. But I think that's ass backwards. You do that the second half of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't do that the very first, 6 games you got this guy. You run the
Right,
ball with Miles Sanders, a bona fide star. Someone
right.
that's already earned his way in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? You give him his carries early, and then as the season progresses, then you add in more passing plays and kind of, up that passing number a little bit. So I think he kind of
Right.
did it, ass backwards, as that's what he did. I'm not sure that was a report out there. I don't know how true it is or not. But if that is what it is, I think that was retarded.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like you should start with the run, especially with a young quarterback, and then go to the pass. So I mean, I just so let me ask y'all: how do you feel about Jalen Hurts as a friend? Like, do y'all want to start next season with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback?
Yes,
What
King,
about
you,
what about TK?
and even you, King, knowing that the stats we put up, Jalen's an alternate. What he's done so far for our team. Listen, what people don't really realize is everybody says the Eagles suck, right? Because of we started out 2-5 or whatever, 2-6, whatever, right? You not realize if we win out, that's 10 win season. When's the last time we won 10 games in a season? No matter what quarterback, everybody was all on board Carson Wentz train. You know what I'm saying? Like Carson's a franchise guy. He needs to get paid like a franchise guy. Carson won that one his first rookie year. They won what 9 games, 8 games, 8, 9 games, something like that, right?
We went on the game. We went on a 6 game winning streak. I think it was 9.
The 9 games, right? Then second year we won the Super Bowl, Carson was at like 11 by one time he got hurt, you know what I'm saying? So that's cool. But after that, we haven't won more than 9 games, you
Yeah,
know?
no, 2018 we went to the playoffs.
But we didn't win 9 games to go to the playoff.
Yeah, we did. I think
Or
we
did we
won.
win exactly 9 games?
I think we won it. I think we were nah.
And I know the next year was 8-8.
I
After
think we
that, we
won.
went to the playoff with 8-8.
10 games. I think we won 10 games because that was when
I
Cody
don't know if we
Parkey.
won 10 games.
I think so because Cody Parkey. That's when we beat Chicago. Cody Parkey double doink.
Well, either way, 9, 10 games, that's the first year for first year coach, first year quarterback. That's pretty impressive.
I
You know what I'm
agree.
saying? Like,
Oh, it is. It is.
that's not a garbage football team to be a retooling, rebuilding type team.
Yes.
I think we need to get started getting some respect. And my whole thing with these last 4 games, anyway, it was never about the playoffs. It's about respecting your division. We started out 0-2. Now we're 2-2, and it's about being over 500 at the end of the season in your division because you got to play these guys every year, twice a year. Who cares about the 6 games you won outside the division that you might not even play any of these teams for like 4 more years? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about right now. What can you do inside of your division to make a name for yourself. So you see the Cowboy fans out here, gloating and happy. And who do you hate more, Cowboys or Eagles?
Cowboys. It's not even close. If I would love for y'all to make the play. Honestly, I would love for y'all to make the playoffs as the 7th seed, and the Cowboys be the 2 seed, and y'all play them and beat them in the wild card round. That'd be great. I would love that. And then obviously, I would root for y'all to lose the next game. But for that one game, I would be rooting for the Eagles. Yes, yeah, I would love that.
Wow.
So that counts for something.
Listen,
that counts
we
for something.
gave you guys a division championship last year.
Okay, I don't care.
We gave it to you. We handed you a crown.
We did get.
You're gonna say you would root for us to lose in a game?
Yeah,
Come on,
absolutely,
my God.
Absolutely.
Come on, my God. What do you think Washington needs to get better next year?
I mean, the 1, 2, and 3 is quarterback. I mean, because even Jalen Hurts, whether or not franchise, whatever, he's playing. He's executing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was 7-9 once,
consistently well.
No. It was 9-7. Quick question. Yeah, it was 9-7. Quick question. Did you think Dwayne Haskins was your guy at one point?
Man, all right. So when I first started watching Dwayne Haskins when he was coming, I heard he was one of the top ranked quarterbacks in 2019. I watched him at Ohio State. I was not super impressed. Saw a lot of bubble screen, yards after the catch, wide open guys at Ohio State.
Yeah, but he had a nice wide receiver core too.
He had a great wide receiver. Exactly, he did. And then, I want a quarterback. So I started convincing myself, well, maybe I do kind of like this guy. And then we drafted him, and I was happy that we drafted him. And then he had a game against the Eagles where he was like decent, where he was like good.
That's a part.
Yeah, he was good.
That's a part.
Exactly. And then he had a half against the Giants. He started 10 for 10, and then he got hurt. He had a game and a half where you're like, okay, I think this guy can be good. But so yeah, he had us fooled. He had me fooled. But it taught me to trust my instincts when I'm watching these guys more, because I didn't like him at first, and those reasons were real. And you watch him in college, and you watch these other guys in college, and you can see the difference. And then the immaturity, there was red flags that I ignored, but the immaturity was just so real, and it's still real.
Are you sold on, Gibson being your running back in the future, or do you think you need to go out and get another one?
Yeah, no, we need to get another one. I think Gibson would be a really good running back 2, or just running back 1B. Like we need a 1A and a 1B situation with Gibson, in my opinion, for a couple of reasons. One, he needs to learn how to hold on to the ball. 6 fumbles this year. On top of that, he's transitioning from wide receiver. He's taking more contact than he ever has, and so he plays and he gets banged up, but he still plays, but he loses some of that explosiveness. So I think he would do well in a Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb type of situation, where he's not taking as much, so he can maintain some of his explosiveness. You also have a guy who played running back, through college and has a better idea for vision, which Gibson has improved. But I don't love him as a running back 1, period. I want him as part of a 2-headed.
Like, wasn't he like a top 10 back in yards?
I want to say he has like 849 or so right now. Like, he's on pace to maybe have 1,000 yards rushing. But here's one key stat. And sometimes I don't know how they figure these things out, but with all the analytics, you've seen what Jonathan Taylor is doing this season. Like, he's incredible, right? There was 2 running backs who had the highest percentage of like perfectly or well blocked runs. It was Jonathan Taylor and it was Antonio Gibson. But Jonathan Taylor has way more explosive runs, has a lot more yards than Antonio Gibson, despite Gibson having as the same number or percentage of runs blocked well. On top of that, Gibson's longest run of the season is 27 yards. And it's because he can break the first couple tackles with his physicality and quickness, but he can't break that last tackle that he needs to break for the long run. That's not what I've seen from him, and maybe that's him being banged up. But he hasn't been as explosive as I'd hoped. He's not bad, but he hasn't been as explosive as I'd hoped.
Oh, that's crazy.
What really surprised me on your team is Carter.
DeAndre Carter, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
and man, I wish the Eagles would have held on to him. Man, every time I see him do something, I'm like, man, he held on to it.
He was on our team.
Yeah, he was good. He had good punt returns. He would electrify here, play in there. I mean,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. How we did with the poor roster judgment.
Yeah.
He did a terrible job last year with that.
Yeah.
Man. He let some key players go where they're shining on other teams.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Carter is like one of those guys where you don't understand why he hasn't stuck with the team. Like, he's not great, but he's better than these other guys who are on rosters, you know. And one thing that they've done well these last couple of years in Washington is find guys like Carter, like Logan Thomas, like J.D. McKissick, these really cheap, lower level free agent signings who have come in and just way outperformed their contracts. So Carter's been a nice surprise.
One thing, can you take Ryan Kerrigan back? Because he ain't done
Ryan. He ain't did nothing for us, my guy.
That's why we let him go.
He had to tap him.
Goodness,
like this guy has been non-existent all year long.
Bro, I mean, garbage, son. I'm like, yo, son, like,
what the heck's going on?
You on a team, son?
I'm surprised he didn't have a blow-up game last time we played y'all. But yeah, Ryan Kerrigan. Right, I would have thought. It's funny if you watched last year, some of the sacks he got were just some of the luckiest sack. Like the two he got against y'all in that first game, he was unblocked. You know, so. No, I'm glad. I'm fine with this letting Kerrigan walk so that younger guys can get an opportunity and y'all can have fun over there with him. I'll always appreciate what he did for us here.
But I know how you said you didn't want Gibson to be your number one, right? You say number two. But do you think, because I've noticed one thing we realized, since JC went out, you know, McKenzie, since he went out, you guys lost. You guys
right.
Since he left. Do you think just the pairing of those two is good enough in your backfield?
I think
the free agent. Are you guys thinking about? You think you should re-sign him and bring him back to let them be the 1-2 duel there in Washington?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I for one, I think they absolutely need to re-sign him. He won't be that expensive, and he has been like he's like the second. Last year he was like the second leading running back in receptions, which is like good and bad. But yeah, they need to re-sign him. And then as for whether or not that can be the 1-2 punch, I think it can work because McKissick gets in there and he runs from the gun, and he is explosive. He's another former wide receiver, but he doesn't look like it. He shoots through the gap and he gets up the field and he holds on to the ball. And so if they went into another year with that, I wouldn't be upset because I like Gibson getting the touches he has. So I think they should re-sign him. And if they prioritize other things and they just roll with Gibson and McKissick as your 1-2 punch, I'm okay with that. But I don't know how many carries you want Gibson to get. You don't want him to get the split that Chubb and Hunt get. You probably want McKissick to get no more than 10 a game because he's a smaller guy and he's better as a receiving back.
Oh, so he's more of like a third down.
Yeah, like he's a really good third down back. He's like a Darren Sproles type. Like he's really good out of the backfield catching the ball, and he's a good change of pace back. But he like if Gibson is hurt, McKissick can't be your leading back for that game because then you're taking away his ability as an explosive third down back, having him run the ball every play, and I don't think physically he can take that toll.
Yeah, man, that's true. Like, what about? Do you think Curtis Samuel's been a bust?
For sure so far. If he gets healthy next year, maybe he can fix that. But he's been hurt. He's played maybe, 50 snaps or so. Because honestly, just because he's been hurt. When he's been out there, he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't gotten the ball much, quarterbacks and whatnot. But yeah, for this year, definitely been a bust because he was supposed to be a big help to the explosiveness of the offense, and he has not been that at all.
Does being the number one rush team in the NFL scare you at all?
You talking about the Eagles?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. For sure, especially after what happened 2 weeks ago.
Most definitely. And you know what's crazy about being a number one rushing attack is this week we don't really have, the lightning.
Sanders is out, right?
Sanders is out. We don't know anything about Jordan Howard.
He might be out too.
Yeah, Carry-On just got signed, but I know Boston Scott will be the main back. And then Gainwell will be coming off there. I with Carry-On, man, he's a fresh body. I don't know how that knee is.
Carry-On Johnson?
Carry-On Johnson. Right. So what I'm hoping is, well, we already know that Jalen's going to help that run.
Right.
He's going to be running that. He's going to be running that RPO. He's going to be running that. You know what I'm saying? So that RPO, put in the belly and put the ball in the belly, or the running back's belly, and he's going to take off and do what he do.
Exactly.
The zone read is going to work. The zone that's what's crazy about us is everybody in the stadium, coaches, everybody named mamas know we are going to run the ball.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do to stop it.
Right.
So that's the thing that I have confidence. Last week, I will say I was a little shocked that we didn't start off running the ball. We literally pass against the Giants. But
Gotcha.
I think from seeing a couple things in seeing a couple holes in the Giants offense, I think Sirianni wanted to take advantage of that.
Right.
But I just think I think we need to start. We got to run the ball from the jump, especially with Boston Scott. He just needs to hold on to that ball, and Gainwell definitely needs to hold on to the ball as well.
Yeah.
You know, another thing is, BG, I'm sorry to cut you off top.
Go ahead, Miguel.
Did you watch that Dolphins game, the Dolphins and the Saints game?
Yeah, I watched most of the second half, some of the first, yeah.
Okay. Now, explain to me. You have a talent like Waddle, right? And I'm not saying Jalen Reagor and Devontae are just like him, but
Waddle's a beast.
Bro, did you see
I wanted Waddle over Devontae Smith, to be honest.
Hey, but he wasn't going to be there.
We were at 6. He got drafted 6.
Did you see the way they game plan? They put the ball in the playmaker's hand.
They do. They do.
With the misdirection, with the ball. I was like,
yo. Yes. Yeah, on the goal line. Yeah, that's they've gotten Waddle the ball, and I feel like they've done a great job because I don't think Tua would have just done it on his own.
No.
And they've gotten him the ball, and he's averaging less than 10 a catch. He's a speedster, and you would think he would be like Deshaun, and I think someday he will. But with them not being there right now offensively, they still found a way to get him almost 1,000 yards and almost 100 receptions. He's going to have over 100 receptions.
Yeah, he's going to break. Is he going to break somebody's record? I think it's.
No, he just broke a record.
Antoine Golden.
Right,
Antoine reception record with 101. I think he's like 96.
Exactly.
I'm crazy.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you have to be very intentional about it.
But think about it. What the Dolphins did, and I don't mean to get on the Dolphins, but look what they did. They got rid of Juice. They got rid of you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then all right, we're going to get Waddle. And that dude, he's a playmaker, bro.
He really is. He is. He's gonna. People might be playing with the Dolphins and Madden here in these next couple of years because Waddle.
Yeah,
Waddle's a beast, man. I do like the whole Devontae Smith plus a first round pick thing.
Right.
That's legit. Like Devontae's a beast too. You know, he's like 800 something yards receiving as a rookie. You know, he still has a shot at getting 1,000 yards. You know, for his rookie year, we haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Macklin. So that's awesome. Right. Plus, we get a first-round pick this year. So that's awesome too. But Waddle's a game changer, man. Like he is, my guy. Like I was so mad when we moved back because he got picked 6. That's where we started out. We started the draft at 6, moved back, and then moved back up to 10. Like Waddle was sitting right there for the taking. Like we wouldn't have got another first-round pick this year, but who cares? This guy's a beast, man.
Waddle was one of those top quarterbacks who go crazy. He would probably average like 20 yards a catch because he would just be down the field nonstop. Yeah.
And then on top of that, he can run routes. His routes.
Yeah, exactly. And he catches the ball. He's physical. Yeah. He's.
But all the Alabama receivers are badass. You know, you think about some of the best receivers in the league right now. Right. Most of them come from Alabama or LSU right now with Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase has like over 1,000 yards already.
He's like, he's almost on Randy Moss level rookie. Yeah.
You know, like he's doing big things over there with Joe Burrow.
But you got to think about it though. His wide receiver group, they're all nasty. Higgins and
Boyd and Chase.
They might have besides, and I hate to say it, besides the Cowboys, they probably have one of those craziest trio.
Yeah, along with Joe Mixon too.
Like that.
Yeah,
man,
2,000-yard receivers.
Yeah,
I think that was perfect this year. Like the fact that Burrow got Chase, Tua got Waddle, and Hurts got Devontae. Those are some pretty good moves from organizations.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and like this year, Alabama got 2 more badass receivers coming out. Yep. Williams is a beast, and Mechie's a beast. Mechie might get pushed back to the 2nd or 3rd because he hurt himself late in the season. Yeah, right. But Williams is a monster. Like I thought Mechie was going to be leading the way this year. I'm in Alabama, so I watch every game. I thought Mechie, you know, coming to the season, I'm like, Mechie's about to blow up, man. He's about to break records. And then this guy Williams come out of nowhere You know,
Right.
he's a monster, dude. Like
Yeah.
scoring
And
touchdowns
what's
left
crazy,
and
Williams
right.
wasn't really talked about. He wasn't really
He
talked
wasn't.
about.
He wasn't.
No.
He wasn't.
Because
Like,
in terms of
I
Alabama
remember,
last year, it was
yeah.
Devontae, Mechie, and Billingsley. And
Yeah.
Billingsley still had a good season this year, but he's not like nobody you want to draft in the first or second round. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Mechie still got that, you know, at least second round pick. You know, I think if we get lucky, we could probably slide him in a second or third round because of the injury, though. But the talent is still a first round talent, you know. But that Williams guy, he's going to go first round. I don't see him not going
Oh,
first
for
round.
sure.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
He's definitely for sure.
Do you guys think you guys need a receiver too out of the draft
do.
this year?
We do. We need another receiver. We need a lot on offense. We need another receiver. You don't know. I wouldn't like just bank on Curtis Samuel again. He should be healthy, sure, but we need another receiver. It's tough to grade De'Ami Brown without the quarterback, but still, regardless, I don't want to just bank on guys we've got. I want another receiver along with the quarterback. So yeah, and the receivers are just coming out these days and just good from day one. So it's probably the easiest position right now to find someone who can help you immediately in the draft.
Not if you're Philadelphia Eagles.
I tell you what, I knew Rager wasn't the guy before y'all picked him.
What? You're hating on Rager? Really? I think Rager just needed time to develop.
I don't know, man.
I'm still on that boat. Like, I haven't totally got off the Rager train. Like every week because it's a mental thing, man. You gotta realize this: football's 90% mental, 10% physical. Rager has physical talents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like the reason why he sucked this year is because he was mentally broken. You know what I'm saying? Just what we did. Our team mentally broke a lot of players last year. Carson Wentz got mentally broken. Miles Sanders started out the season because he was mentally broken. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some star players on the team that are mentally broken, and I think Reagan was another one. The Eagles drafted him first round last year to be the guy, right? And then you turn around and draft another first round pick in Devontae Smith because they think you're not the guy. That's like, he was just mentally like not there. If you notice the last couple of weeks, Rager's starting to come alive. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to do some things, and our coach need to worry about getting him in the right situation to make plays. Like, you can't have him that outside receiver think he's about to go beat one-on-one coverage and, like, go crazy. No, that's not Rager. Put him in the slot.
You know why? Because Justin Jefferson.
Jet sweeps, reverses, things like that.
Right,
he's more of a running back style receiver as opposed to actual receiver. And that's how you got to use him. Remember the Miami game? You see Rager? He led our whole first drive against Miami. It was 12 yards on a jet sweep, another jet sweep, 12 yards. And then he almost scored that touchdown, and he fell down short to score a touchdown. That's what you got to use him at. That's what he is. He's like a gadget type guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you got to use him. And it sucks.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. A gadget guy is not a first-round pick to me.
But just because you're a first-round pick doesn't mean – think about all the first-round pick receivers.
Yes, it is.
For real. There's a lot of straight-up busts and big first-round pick receivers.
You need to be on the field, and you need to produce.
He plays every game.
No, he doesn't do anything. He did. I give him one thing.
We can't trade you guys Rager. You don't want him?
The punt return that he had, that brought juice to the team. But that's a punt return. He got drafted as a wide receiver. No. At the end of the day, his dad played here. It's tough playing in Philadelphia. Period. It's tough playing on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Because we have nothing else to do but watch sports. That's it.
I agree.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
BG,
let's get off the Rager thing.
So you guys don't agree. Nice guy. He's glass half full. You know what I'm saying? He's such a nice guy.
I'm still there. I started out the season. I thought the Eagles were gonna be 13-3. I said ceiling. That'll be ceiling. 13-4. Floors 10-7. We can still get that. So with Rager, I thought he could be a superstar. Him being a cut is like the floor. So I think he's still right there in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what happens with the guy. What do you guys think you have to do to beat us this week?
I think on defense, we just got to sell out to stop the run. I think the best chance we have is just forcing Jalen Hurts to throw the ball, and maybe he'll beat us that way. And if so, okay. But just sell out to stop the run. And then offensively, I think we need to be willing to throw the ball. The running game's not working, then we need to be willing to just open it up and just throw the ball. because I don't like when it's first and 10, you run, you don't get anything. 2nd and 10, you run again, and now it's 3rd and 11. If the running game is not working, throw the ball. Live or die. Basically, what I'm saying is live or die by stopping the run and throwing the ball.
Who's doing it?
Probably Taylor Heineke. And I mean, he can play well. He goes up, he goes down. So he's just back and forth. And a lot of that, like the Cowboys were just all over him. And then so I don't really know how perform against the Eagles. Gilbert honestly was better than I thought he would be. So you would hope that Heineke could be better than Gilbert was, which was better than I thought he would be. But I just think, like, ideally it would be us being able to run the ball against the Eagles and control the clock. But I don't think that's going to happen. Teams have figured out, if you want to stop Washington, load the box. Taylor Heineke can't throw over them. So spread them out. Make it so that they can't load the box. Spread them out and just throw the ball.
Do you think you've seen all you can see from Taylor Heineke? Like, do you know his ceiling by now? Because Heineke been on your team for 2 years now?
Honestly, one in a couple games. So
last year, right?
Yeah, but they picked him up in like week 15.
When was he drafted?
He went undrafted in 2015. So
2015?
he was with he was with the Vikings. He was with the Panthers.
He's been in the league that long?
He was in the XFL for a year. So yeah. He's been in the league in and out kind of since 2015, right? So he's like 28 years old.
So you already know his ceiling right now.
Right.
This is Taylor Heineke's ceiling.
Exactly. Like, this is who he is. Now look, granted, if we had more weapons, the offensive line honestly has not been bad. But if we had more weapons, then sure, he could be better. But still, yeah, we know his ceiling. I think he's a high-level backup. I think he'd be one of the best backup quarterbacks.
Like Nick Foles.
Exactly. Like if he needs to come in for a game or two, you don't feel like it's all over the way we did when Garrett Gilbert came in. But if he has to start all year, you just know you won't really be able to do anything that year.
Okay.
Gotcha. So my question is to you, and this is probably my final question, and we'll probably go into score predictions and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you see this approaching and the season is winding down, what are you the most feared about going to the offseason as a Washington football fan?
There's a lot of things. So
that's a good question.
It is. So to be honest, part of me wants to say quarterback, but I'm really not worried about that because I know they're going to do something because they literally have to. They tried to get Stafford last year. They didn't want to trade up for Fields or Mac Jones. And okay, I can accept that rationale. So I'm honestly not worried about them getting a guy. They're going to get somebody. One of these veterans or one of these rookies, they're going to get somebody. Honestly, my biggest thing might be off the field and them getting the name change right. And getting it right, to me, like, I know no matter what they do, they're going to have people who are going to hate it. But for me, it's really about y'all, like people like y'all who aren't fans, people on NFL Network, ESPN, people around the league. I needed to – the fans have that – they're tied to the Redskins. They're tied to the history. They're mad that the name isn't the Redskins anymore. They're not going to be happy.
I like the Redskins. I thought it was
I was fine with it. But it just needs to be a name that the NFL world can't laugh at. It can't be a logo and a name and jerseys. That is a joke. That is not taken seriously. As long as it's something –
The Washington lawmakers.
That's a great example of something that would be terrible that people could laugh at.
Hey, I've had some Washington guys on. They said they wanted to be the Washington Wolves. So when you guys are in the middle of a game, you guys can howl like, woo!
that honestly, no, all jokes aside, that name has been the consensus. And that to me is an example of a name. At the end of the day, it doesn't have anything to do with Redskins. It doesn't have anything to do with DC, but no one can make a joke about wolves. Like, wolves are undeniably cruel. They said they're not going to go Warriors because they are keeping Native American groups very much in the loop. And they made it clear that Warriors is not far enough away from Redskins. Even though Warriors is not specific to Native American, because of the history with Redskins, going to Warriors would feel like trying. So the president came out and said that it won't be Warriors. To me, even though it's random, Wolves would give something that, like, howling sounds stupid, like, for sure, until you're doing it on third down and you get it
right,
and then it's like the coolest thing ever. Right, that would actually. It seems pretty cool.
Ow. Yeah. You should go back to the Washington Bullets. That was
That's
fire.
a basketball team.
Switch it over to the NFL.
Right. Go give that name to the football team.
To the football team.
And then in 2 years they'd be changing it for the same reason they changed from Bulls to Wizards.
Yeah, I got you.
So what do you think? What is your pick for the Washington football team? What name would you give them if you are the owner?
Yeah, my honestly, it would be Wolves. I spent a lot of time thinking about this, and if y'all really sit down and think about it,
content creator side,
anything that's DC specific is just corny and lame because it has to do with politics, it has to do with government.
Okay, so that means you can't go with Washington Presidents, can't go with Washington Go-Go.
Go-Go. That's already a team. Exactly.
Washington
senators, monuments, Jeffersons.
Washington
So exactly like I said, I think the best thing is not ties to the city. Renegades is a name people have said, but I mean, to me, it's not terrible. But
in the area, what are the top 3 names right now?
Right now, I think it's Wolves, Commanders, and either Football Club or Red Tails. Wolves and Commanders, in my opinion. From what I know, honestly, I feel like probably 100% confident that Wolves and Commanders are the final two of the final 3.
So corny.
I like the Hogs.
Exactly. Commanders is terrible.
People
love Hogs. People do like Hogs.
You guys already got the noses. I remember back in the day, you guys used to always wear the noses.
Yep.
That is already like a trademark in your whole.
Hogs would fit for people who like to tie it to the past. But for me, a hog is a pig. And so I don't really want my mascot to be a pig. I know the Razorbacks is kind of cool. Hogs wouldn't be terrible, though. But I honestly think it might actually be Wolves. I think that there's a pretty decent chance that's what it is. And I think, like I said, y'all, fans of other teams, people, media, whatever, if they do that right, that name, that brand, that logo, fans may hate it, but I don't think, as long as it's universally viewed as they did a good job, then that's fine with me.
I like the Wolves too, though. I think that is a sick thing. Like fourth down, like you said, fourth down, everybody's like, oh!
Right, exactly. Just
you ever go to
the whole stadium rocking.
That they wear in DC. Horachis,
Yep, you're right. You're right with the Helly Hansen jacket. You're 100% right.
Berman said, what about the Island Boys?
Yeah. I just say on Commanders, there are people who like Commanders, and Commanders is just
or alligators. You should call you because you guys wore swamp. DC was nothing but swamp.
You got to copy us and be like the Washington Little Eagles.
No, don't do that.
I think it's time. I think that's how I know it's time to wrap the show up.
It is. Go ahead and give us a score prediction, my guy. Let's go around and get our score prediction for this game.
Yeah, I'll go. It was 27-17 last time. Honestly, I'll go 31-21 Eagles.
31-21.
Yeah.
Put the victory chain on.
Whoa, look at this guy. That thing from right now. I need one of those bird game, man. Look at my shirt on. See my shirt? I got the shirt.
17.
I don't have a cool chain like that, though. That's a cool chain. Like, where'd you get that? You need to hit me up after this show.
Right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Give me one of those.
Me and Tay needed one of those, right, Tay?
We do need one of those.
I got you. Shout out to my boy Andre from Dallas. He lives in Dallas, and he is not a Cowboys fan. He's an Eagles
Sleeping
fan.
with the enemy.
Oh, wow.
And he makes these. I got the lights in it. You guys see, it's big as hell. But 34-17, go Birds. That's a victory chain. That's it. Go Birds, baby.
We kind of the same because I said 35-17.
Okay. That's a touchdown instead of the 2 field goals.
You need to hit me up with that link, my guy, because I need that.
That's really cool.
Man. Andre Sims. I got
and Tay needs one too with him and
support
Todd
black
and Tay
support
on there
for
together.
Sure. Definitely some the leak. Definitely some the leak. Okay, can I ask y'all one question before we get off then? Because I think we all expect the Eagles to win, and that's probably what will happen. But if Washington won, what would that mean for y'all? Where would y'all be at?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I will be upset.
Very.
But
not just a little. Very upset. I'm slapping the shit out of somebody.
But I will say, this is one of these magical years for us, and we're going to make some noise in the postseason.
Okay.
We're not supposed to be.
I'll be mad as hell because we did not work this hard and come out of the slums. You know, like we were at the bottom of the division, you know, earlier this year. Like we fought ourselves all the way out the slums to lose again. Like I said, I thought we were going to sweep 2 teams, to be honest. In the beginning of the season, when we first started this, you know what I'm saying, this year, I was like, we got 2 sweeps and then 2 splits. And right now we're looking at 1 sweep at least. You know, and I think it's going to be you guys. Not, unfortunately, it's you guys. You know, I was hoping it was going to be the Giants, but they took care of that the first game, which kind of pissed me off because we should have won that game. And that would have been my 2 sweeps, too. Giants and Redskins. That would have been my 2 sweeps. But I still think that, you know, it's about momentum, like you said earlier. You know, momentum in the league is huge. You know, we are on that freaking train going straight up. You know, we're 6 out of 8 games. We don't won. You know, so it's our time. I feel like it is our time. I don't think the roller coaster ride is over yet. I think we have a lot of momentum going upwards. And the best part about it is we haven't even had a game where we're both like offense, defense together has dominated. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still working on things. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still getting things together, but we're winning while we're doing it. So I think that, you know, by the time the playoffs come, we can be boom right there and make some noise in the playoffs. So yeah, I'll be highly upset we lose this game. You know, but it's not over completely if we lose. We just definitely have to win Dallas. But, like, I want to just go ahead and clinch it. You know, we win this game. Like I said, the Packers win, the Niners win, and it's done. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about what happens against the Dallas because I don't want to get swept against Dallas either. Like, people are like, even if we clinch this week, Dallas, you know what I'm saying? I know because we're content creators and we're fans that we hate the Dallas Cowboys. So it's like, I want to beat their ass. Like, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if we got to start everybody weeks 18. Plus, I don't want to lose momentum going into the playoffs. But I think we need to go there and handle our business with Dallas next week for sure, regardless of what happens this week. You know, hopefully it don't have to mean anything, but we definitely got to do our thing next week.
No, I agree. Look, the Cowboys, I don't want any of our rivals to really have success, but the Cowboys are the main ones I care about. If y'all go on and have success, that won't hurt me, really. The Cowboys win the Super Bowl, that one would really hurt me. So
they're not winning the Super Bowl. We know about that.
No, they're not. They won't. Y'all are cool guys, so I'll be happy for y'all.
That's one thing we definitely agree on.
Yeah. I was talking earlier. We recorded the last thing I'll say. But with the Cowboys, it's fun when they have a really bad year. But it's almost more fun when they have a really good regular season and then just lose in the wild card of the playoffs.
Like,
that's almost more fun.
I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm like, hey, guys, win out and do something in the playoffs. Who cares about your regular season record? You guys always have decent records, you know, for the most part, unless you guys have a down season. Like, that's something that's not unfamiliar for the Cowboys to do. But in terms of winning playoff games, and that's where you can, you know, Eagles. If we would go to the playoffs, you know, we've been in the playoffs like, you know, 4 out of the last 5 years. If we go this year, like that's impressive. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody else in our division has even done that. So it's like I think the Eagles get a lot, you know, don't get enough respect for our organization as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we still get hated on when it's like, yeah, we had a 4-12 season, but whatever. That's 1 year out of like the 10 years. And if you go back to the 90s, we're like one of the top, you know, playoff winning teams since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to look at everything as a whole when it comes to our football team. Like even Eagle fans, we're only going to win 6 games. We're only going to win 4 games. Like, come on, really? Like, do you not understand the team you're on? Like, what team you support? Like, we the Eagles, my guy. Like, we've been winning constantly. You know, like this is not something new for us to do. And they even tell Cowboy fans, remember last time it was like, 2018, I think it was, where Dallas won the division but lost the first round. We made it to the second round. I go, man, division wins are cool, but it's not everything, my guy. Like, see if you guys can go farther than us in the playoffs this year. You know what I'm saying? If we make it.
They got beat by the Rams, right?
Huh?
They got beat by the Rams, right? It was like
they
got beat by the Rams.
And then we could even went farther.
Went to New Orleans. We should have
won. We could even went farther.
That was when Alshon Jeffrey dropped
that ball, bro.
I remember that. That was with Foles again.
Yes.
I was I will never forget that because I was drunk. I was in Hawaii with my wife. I'm in Hawaii, chilling, light flex. I'm chilling. I'm in Hawaii. I'm like feeling. I'm like, we're gonna go back. And then Alshon right through. I said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to go back to the pool and go drink some more.
At least you were in Hawaii. At least.
And I was feeling myself. I was wearing my jerseys all in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It was hell.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh man, it was bad.
But hey, go ahead and let everybody know where you can ride. We got 26 in here. Shout out to all you guys. Make sure you hit that like on all channels, man. That'll be much appreciated. Big King Fly, Mr. Guy over there on my left. And then my boy Todd right here from Hey Todd Podcast for the Washington Redskins. Make sure you subscribe to all channels. If you have not subscribed to any of them, you know, if you haven't subscribed to Bird Gang, make sure you subscribe to Bird Gang. We're on the road to 2K. We need 130 more subscribers. Let's do it. You know, my first year, I feel good. That'd be awesome. You know, get Bird Gang to 2K. So, May, much love for you coming on the show. Let everybody know where they can find you out. We can get about this beat.
Definitely. Yeah. Twitter at Tay, the letter N Todd Podcast, Tay and Todd Podcast, or if you just search it, there's not a lot out there or any. And then go on YouTube, same thing, Tay and Todd Podcast. And depending on how this game goes, I'll break some stuff down that may pertain to Eagles fans too. So even though the breakdown will be for Washington, you would still be able to see some stuff that pertains to the Eagles on YouTube. That would be on YouTube. Again, Tay and Todd Podcast. Search it. It's not a hard name to find because there's no other Tay and Todd. And thank y'all for having me on.
Fact.
Yeah.
Right there. That's a fact.
Right.
Thumbs up first.
Thank y'all for having it. It was great talking to y'all. Nice meeting y'all. Glad we were able to make it happen. And good luck on Sunday.
Yeah, good luck on Sunday too. And maybe this offseason we can all get together again. We can get your boy Tay on here too. We can all do this. You know, it'd be fun, fun stuff, man.
Definitely.
Hey, shout out to you guys. Like I said, everybody have a blessed night, man. You know, I always say on the end of my videos, fly, Eagles, fly. Go ahead.
Thanks for tuning in. Win or lose, we still fly. Go Birds.
Go Birds. We
Squad
out.
up. Squad up.